Welcome inside the arena at Gwinnett Center for the first of two 5A semifinal games in the boys GHSA State Championship. Sam Raid and Scott Janovich with you for the call of Savannah and Alpharetta. And Scott, this to me, the quintessential high school tournament game for two reasons. One, you got the Cinderella factor in Alpharetta, who barely qualified after struggling through their region. And two, you've got the matchup of the northern part of the state and the southern part of the state.
Well, you said it, Alpharetta, what a great story. It's their first winning season. Forget Final Four appearance. First winning season in the school's 8-year history. Then, of course, you got to talk about a team that's 19-12. First time a team with 12 losses has made a 5A Final Four in 30 years. More than 30
That's why
years.
we keep Scott around. Great stat right there. The starting lineup first for Savannah. In the backcourt, Naquan Chisholm, Javante Spivey, Russell Famble, Kayvon Freeman up front with David Basil in the middle. For Alpharetta, Ty Toney and David Zizik are the guards. Carlos Burse and Bjorn Walker up front along with Ballback Mustafi.
Savannah, a very tough guard. 5 guys, all can beat you. They don't have a guy you can single out as the star. They score in a total team effort. It makes them very difficult to compete with.
Alpharetta in the white controls the opening tap, and it's Ty Toney, the point guard. Toney finds Zizik, quick three, no good. Rebound tipped and controlled by Savannah. Nice pass in transition there, but a blocked shot as Bjorn Walker comes back to swat that one away. Now the other way, we get a whistle and a foul coming against Savannah, and the Blue Jackets will send Alpharetta to the line for the first time.
Nice aggressive take there to the hoop by number 21, Carlos Burse. Talked about Alpharetta, an underdog, no doubt. That doesn't mean they don't have dynamic athletes all over the floor. Ty Toney, who you've seen, one of those guys, so is Carlos Burse.
Carlos Burse drops just under 16 per game, and he opens the scoring here from the foul line. 6'3", 205 pounds.
And arguably the best wide receiver the state of Georgia has to offer. Already has verbal offers from the likes of Florida, NC State, University of Tennessee, Virginia Tech, and more.
Rebound is no good, but the shot rather is no good. The rebound is thrown out of bounds by Savannah off of Alpharetta. So the Blue Jackets will have it here. 1-0 just underway. Pull-up jump shot there is good from Russell Famble, who's the best scorer on Savannah, according to their head coach, Tim Jordan.
Yeah, right around 14 points per game for Famble.
2-1 Savannah with the early lead. Ty Toney dribbling out of trouble, hanging in the air, no good. Had a hand on the rebound, but lost it. It comes off to Naquan Chisholm. 2-on-3 break. Chisholm lobs it ahead, and we get a whistle, and Javante Spivey was fouled as he made his way along the baseline.
Saw there, Toney did a good job of breaking that Savannah press. Going to be a huge storyline tonight. One of the best defensive teams in the state are the Blue Jackets. Give up only 43 points per game.
Russell Famble is wet on that jumper. He's got 5 now, and Famble has single-handedly put his team out front 5-1. And now a whistle, and it will remain with Alpharetta. Russell Famble gets 14 a game, a 6'4" senior. A lot of seniors in the starting lineup for Savannah. 4 of them to go with 1 junior. And as you mentioned, Coach Tim Jordan told me before the game, they're a very balanced team. Nobody's going to score 20, but they got a lot of guys that can score 10. Ty Toney, the junior point guard for Alpharetta, has had a fantastic playoff run.
Yeah, 31 points per game here in the postseason.
Zizik gets that one to go off the glass, and now it's a 5-3 ball game. Zizik is listed at 5'11", 155, and that might be generous. For all the little guys out there, he's doing it for you guys.
Great job anticipating that pass there from Ty Toney. almost turning over the Blue Jackets.
Tom Chisholm, the point guard, will bring it up and finds Kayvon Freeman. Freeman is a big fella at 6'4". On the jump stop, and an offensive foul is going to be called on Kayvon Freeman. Nice job there by Babak Mustafi to take the charge.
You said it, he's a big fella. Showed good ball skills there out on the perimeter, taking his man off the dribble, but once he gets going, has a tough time stopping. And ran right over the Alpharetta defender who had great position under the hoop.
Savannah scored 5 of the game's first 6. It's now 5-3 with almost 2 minutes gone by. Zizik for 3, good! David Zizik has scored the game's last 5 points, and Alpharetta takes its first lead of the game.
Well, Zizik's a dynamic shooter, 72% from free throw line, and great three-point shooter as well. This team hit 9 of 19 three-point attempts in the quarterfinals, so they like the three-point shot, and they hit it with efficiency.
Famble's shot was no good. Savannah keeps it on the alternating possession. Scott walk us through Zizik there on the 3.
Well, again, you saw 3 guys in the paint there, though Zizik spreads the floor by finding that corner. Does a good job of knocking that down with a man in his face.
Famble's 3 no good, but an offensive rebound as he hustles and gets it himself and puts it home. He's got a quick 7, and Alpharetta regains the lead. Or Savannah, I should say, regains the lead at 7-6, and now we get an offensive foul called on Ty Toney, and it's going to go back to the Blue Jackets.
Good job there of Kayvon Freeman committing to that play, getting good position, and then taking that contact on the hard dribble drive from Ty Toney.
Hotly contested game in the early going. Here's a turnover. 2-on-1 break. Ty Toney keeps it himself and scores. First points of the game for Ty Toney, and Alpharetta regains the lead at 8-7.
Good steal there from Carlos Burst to get that fast break going, and then the little head fake from Toney. Freed himself up and finished with the layup.
Toney comes away with another steal. 1-on-1 now. He works on Chisholm, and he lost it going up. Savannah comes away with the loose ball. The Blue Jackets on the run. No good that time by Javante Spivey, and the Raiders will take it the other way. Zizik in the corner for 3. Burst, it's no good. Rebound Blue Jackets. Freeman will lead the break. Hangs in the air and banks it home.
Been very impressed with the Albany State signee, football signee, Kayvon Freeman, his willingness to put that ball on the floor.
Kayvon Freeman looks like a football signee. 9-8, Savannah by 1. Jump shot from Toney, no good. Rebound comes off to David Basil. Blue Jackets, who Coach Tim Jordan told me do not really want to run, but they will if the opportunity presents itself. He said they're more of a defensive-oriented team. Freeman will work from the right wing. Picks it up, and Toney with his hand in the passing lane again. Again, one-on-one. This time the foul, and no good. It rims out. But Javante Spivey fouled. Ty Toney will go to the line to shoot a pair.
Well, 3 of the last 4 Savannah offensive possessions have ended in a turnover. All 3 have started with either Burst or Toney jumping that passing lane. Nice anticipation by both of the Alpharetta guards to steal those balls.
By the way, that's 2 personal fouls on Javante Spivey. You're definitely too young to remember the posse at Tulane in college basketball with Kim Lewis and Perry Clark, who had the posse, as I mentioned. They'd sub in and out 5 guys at a time. That's exactly what Savannah's doing right here with a brand new 5 players on the floor.
Sort of a line change. Savannah's strength, if not its defense, is its depth, and they will come into this game. In fact, talking to Coach Jordan, it's one of their plans is to wear this Alpharetta team out with its depth and fast-paced style. You say they don't like to run offensively, but they turn you over so much with their full-court press that they do a good bit of running.
Ty Toney missed the first free throw. The second one is no good as well. And the rebound comes off to Chris Coakley, who's one of the new 5 on the floor for the Blue Jackets. Coakley gets it back, goes up here, count that basket, and a foul on Bjorn Walker. And Coakley is now on the board. Walker picks up his first, and Savannah's extended their lead now to 3 at 11-8.
Yeah, the 6'6" sophomore doesn't look like the biggest or strongest player on the court, but did a good job of staying with that shot and fighting through what was a physical, contact-oriented play there.
Coakley misses that free throw. Philip Klipsky is checked in for the first time in the Alpharetta lineup. Some great names on the Alpharetta Raiders team. Bjorn Walker, Philip Flipsky, just to name a couple. Turnover here for the Raiders. Blue Jackets will bring it back. Running the show now is Jamal Norman. And Norman gives it up to Jason Lawton. Lawton thought about it, instead finds his teammate Norman, who tries a three. He'd hit nothing, and the referee says it belongs with Savannah. It looked like it might have been last touched by the Blue Jackets, but they'll keep it. And we get a substitution in the Alpharetta lineup. We got a good look there at Isaiah Dean, who checks in for the first time.
Yeah, it looked like Jermaine Williams tipped that off Holloman at the last second.
Inside, there's another and one opportunity. Count that bucket for Savannah's Devin Holmes. Filipski comes up with that foul. It's his first, and Savannah is working it right now inside against Alpharetta, leading it 13-8. This free throw is no good from Holmes. Savannah struggling a little bit here from the free throw line, but that's about the only area they're struggling. They lead now by 5, and they've scored the game's last 4 points. Alpharetta is going to keep it off the deflection. Pretty fast pace to this one in the early going. Dean's going to trigger, and it's deflected back right there at head coach Tim Jordan of the Savannah Blue Jackets in his 5th year at the helm. The Blue Jackets, the 6th ranked team in the state. Alpharetta, unranked, 12 losses on the season, as you mentioned. That's the point guard, Ty Toney. He's had a great tournament run. Toney pulls up, deep 2, no good, but gets his own miss. No look pass underneath, and the layup falls. Nice job that time by Toney, and he finds his teammate Bjorn Walker, who scores his first points of the game.
Yeah, good job of sticking with that play to corral the rebound and then getting rid of it quickly before the defense could reset. That nice little no-look pass threw him off guards and gave Alpharetta a wide-open layup.
Jermaine Williams sends it into the corner. Now they work it to the other side of the floor. Williams has come back to the left corner to get it, now gives it up. Savannah will be patient offensively with 2:30 to play here in the first quarter. Nip and tuck throughout, but Savannah has opened up a little bit of an advantage, and now the Blue Jackets will be right back at the free throw line with an opportunity here for Jamal Norman.
Yeah, sort of living there here in this first quarter with the dribble penetration. That's what this team does extremely well, specifically out with their guards, but even their bigs. We've seen Kayvon Freeman take his man off the dribble. They get to the hole with great success, and as a result, they shoot a lot of free throws.
Jamal Norman hits the first one. It's back to a 4-point game at 14-10.
The ability to drive and take your man off the dribble is so important when the shots aren't falling from outside. A way to manufacture points.
Norman hits both, kind of quelling some of the difficulties for the Blue Jackets at the line. Ty Toney loses the handle on that one. There's 4 players on the floor. The Blue Jackets look like they have it, but an alternating possession is going to be called, and it will remain with the Raiders. It's a pretty amazing story for Alpharetta. You talked a little bit about the 12 losses and what that means historically. They're only in their 8th year as a program. It's the first time they've ever had a winning season, as you said, and here they are in the Final Four.
They've never won more than 17 games in a single season, which is not a huge number.
This time, though, it is a turnover.
So, yeah, it's a program that has really broken through here in 2011, 2012.
Jermaine Williams came out of there with it, but the Blue Jackets turn it right back that time on the errant pass from Devin Holmes. It's Coach Jordan right there. I like his fashion sense. 5-point game, matches the largest lead of the game for Savannah. Inside 2 minutes of play. Here's Dean. First quarter clock, of course, that is. Alpharetta knocked off Berkmar in order to get here. Savannah over North Cobb. Inside go the Raiders, and that's a bucket for Carlos Burst underneath.
Yeah, sort of slipped behind the defender there, right underneath the basket. And a nice physical play there for number 21.
Open three that time for Jermaine Williams. Nobody near him, and Jermaine Williams gives his team their largest lead of the game at 18-12.
Yeah, and even after the make from Alpharetta, Savannah pushes that ball so fast, no one found Williams there in transition, wide open for a three. Got to get back better on defense if you're Alpharetta, especially after a make.
There's the three from Williams, and he came up with a block on this end as well, but it remains with the Raiders.
And you saw a nice little screen there from 35, Devon Williams to free up, or I'm sorry, Devon Holmes to free up Williams for that three.
Jordan Walker caught the inbound too easy right there if you're Savannah to let Alpharetta get that good of a look on the inbound. And it makes it a 4-point game at 18-14. Elevating for three, and way too strong that time is Jamal Norman. Here's Ty Toney on the break, and we get a whistle and a foul, and Toney's going to go to the line to shoot a pair. I like Ty Toney's game. He might not be the most gifted athletically, but he's very active defensively and very aggressive offensively.
Yeah, he does a great job of anticipating, filling passing lanes on defense. He hasn't gotten his outside shot to fall yet here today. But what he has done is take the ball hard, aggressive to the hoop. Has gotten a couple baskets and a couple trips to the line as a result.
Toney unable to connect on the first free throw. He's 85%, 45 of 53 coming in his last 5 ball games from the charity stripe. So a rare miss, and this one he calmly knocks down. 3-point ball game now. Final minute to play, and an offensive foul is going to be called. Nice job by Alpharetta's Philip Filipski there to take the charge.
Yeah, that's your man, and what a great play there was to anticipate that baseline dribble drive, get to that spot first, and then keep his position to force the charge.
A foul, by the way, the second on Jamal Norman. And a turnover for Alpharetta here. It's ripped away ahead of the field, and unable to collect the pass that time is Jermaine Williams. So some sloppy play here in the last minute of the first quarter. I'm not ever going to take a shot at a coach and say that they have an easy job, but the substitution pattern for Savannah has been pretty easy. Played the starters 4 minutes, played the next 5 for 4 minutes. That's been all Coach Jordan's had to do with the substitutions, and there's another Alpharetta turnover.
Yeah, you rarely see that in basketball, but if you can do it, it's a nice idea because you have so much continuity between the two lineups.
Right, and good chemistry, absolutely. Final 10 seconds here. Savannah will hold for the final shot of the first quarter, but they won't get it off. It's turned over. Isaiah Dean, nice save, and ahead Carlos Burst with the two-handed finish. And that closes out the first quarter. Alpharetta finishes it with an exclamation point. 18-17, Savannah's lead is down to 1, and here's Carlos Burst high in the air like he was grabbing a corner route. And he finishes that one with 2 hands. Time to go to the second quarter on the GHSA network. Blue Jackets have the first 5 back on the floor, and it comes in Aquan Chisholm, the point guard. Their lead down to 1 after the flush by Burst, and we get a whistle and just a deflection there. It remains with the Blue Jackets.
Yeah, can't say enough about what these Alpharetta guards have been able to do in that first quarter, specifically as it relates to stealing the basketball, forcing turnovers with quick hands.
Tavon Freeman had a quick touch. He was impactful during his limited time on the floor. Aquan Chisholm, point guard, scores 6 a game. Now to Freeman. Left baseline working on the block. Turns, goes up, under, and too strong. And it's out of bounds. Remains with the Blue Jackets.
Nice sophisticated post move with that little drop step, and then kind of worked his way into a spin move. Wasn't able to finish, but you got to like the idea from the big man there.
Famble will trigger, gets it into Freeman. Just 30 seconds gone here in the second quarter. And now Famble for 3. Left that one dreadfully short. Zizek with the rebound, and wow, Zizek was on the baseline, so it goes back over now to the Blue Jackets. They've had the ball for what feels like an hour. It's just been 36 seconds. Alpharetta led early at 6-5. Savannah was mostly in control from there. Chisholm drives and turns it over. Now Alpharetta with a 3-on-3 break. Tony into the corner. 3 from Burse is off the heel of the iron, no good. Rebound last touched by the Raiders, and it goes to the Blue Jackets.
I'll tell you, when given the chance, when Alpharetta gets out on the fast break, Carlos Burse runs directly to
into
those
that corner,
corners.
right? And Zizek goes into the other one.
Yeah, so that is something to watch out for if he can get his shot to fall. Could be a big, impactful play later as this game progresses.
Still 18-17. Savannah on top by 1. Famble against the double team, and he throws it to the scorer's table. Might have been confused that time by the trap look for the Raiders. And now a rare single substitution here for the Blue Jackets as Jermaine Williams returns to replace Russell Famble. I think maybe Russell Famble's going to have a conversation with Tim Jordan about how to beat that press and trap. 1 minute gone, second quarter, still no score. Burst for 3, and that one's in and out. No, tip dunk attempt, no good that time by Walker, but Alpharetta keeps it. Tony to Zizek. Zizek bounces it in the corner, and now lots of contact as they send it inside for Burst. We get a whistle and a Savannah foul going against David Basil.
A nice backdoor cut there from Carlos Burse. Defender David Basil.
6 team fouls already on Savannah. We told you about Ty Tony being a good free throw shooter. Zizek is as well, so a lot of opportunities for the line maybe in the second quarter for the Raiders, and that time Tony is good from another line, the 3-point line. And he puts Alpharetta back on top.
Told you they love the 3-point shot. We've seen him attempt a number of them here early on already.
And another turnover for Savannah. That time Chisholm didn't have his man in the right spot. We'll take another look at the 3 from Ty Tony when we get an opportunity.
Well, Alpharetta attempted 19 3-point shots against Berkmar in the quarterfinals. It's one of the plays they love, and they shoot them from all over the court.
Tony was pure on that one. Alpharetta led briefly in the early going. Now they lead by 2. Other team is led by more than 5. 2 minutes gone here in the second quarter. Zizek in the lane, kicks it out to Tony. Pulls up from 18 feet, no good. Never squared himself to the basket, and Freeman comes away with the board. Alpharetta's playing a little bit faster than they need to right now. 3-point attempt from Williams is way too strong. And Alpharetta with the rebound. Nice job that time by Walker to save it in play to Zizek. Behind the back, the pass, and Tony with the layup that time. Beautiful dish by Filipski. Told you I like Philip Filipski. He flipped it on the break. Tony had a hand on the dribble, had a hand on the pass, but Williams keeps it. Inside, the Blue Jackets working, and we get a whistle and a foul coming on Filipski. Take us through the fast breaks.
Yeah, you'll see another look on this play. Number 22, Philip Filipski, your favorite player, uses a nice little behind-the-back pass to free up Ty Tony. Good job of taking that defender, though, away from Tony with the dribble, and then using the behind-the-back pass.
Might not see many more of those passes from Filipski in the first half. He goes to the bench with his second foul. No, he stays out there, actually, with 2, number 22 in white.
Seeing Philip Filipski all over the place, even when he's not there.
3 minutes played here, second quarter. Alpharetta has their largest lead of the game. It's a 22-18. Chisholm trying to break down his defender on the drive. Instead gives it up, and now on the move is Jordan Norman. Norman back to Chisholm, had it stripped on the way up, but the Blue Jackets keep it. Nice defense there by Alpharetta. And
Alpharetta's defense has really picked up. In fact, when Savannah was having success early, it was off the dribble drive, whether it was scoring or getting to the free throw line. They've settled for 3-pointers here a lot late. And as they have, this offense is sort of dried up.
Williams will run the show now against Ziesek. He's got considerable size against him, takes him into the paint and gets it home.
Sure, good touch there on a little off-balance runner.
That's a mismatch just size-wise. Ziesek might weigh 155. Williams might weigh over 200. Back to a two-point game. Ziesek in the corner, and it's no good. Rebound to the Blue Jackets, who look to push it here in transition, but there's no numbers.
The other end, it looked like Savannah went to his zone defense there. Had played traditionally man-to-man up until that point.
Williams thought about a shot, pulled it back down, and instead they get it to Freeman, who puts it home from about 6 feet out on the right baseline.
Guy's got good ball skills and soft touch for a big man.
Tyler Lentz with the drive, and it'll be Savannah basketball as he lost it out of bounds. Tyler Lentz, another one, 5'9", 145. I mean, Scott, that's about, I mean, I don't want to put you on the spot.
My size? You might be a little taller.
You might be a little bigger, but I'm just saying, 5'9", 145 in a Final Four.
5A.
Good for him.
5A Final Four. See that on the 1A, the 2A level.
Tied at 22 now. Inside the midway mark of the second quarter. Tough jump shot there. Nice defense by Ziesek as he forced Jason Lawton into an ill-advised shot. Ty Toney seems like he's gone the whole way so far at point guard for the Raiders. Ziesek in the corner. Filipski down low they go, and a blocked shot that time on the attempt from Bjorn Walker.
Awesome entry pass, though, there from Philip Filipski. Unfortunately, it was erased by a great defensive play.
No basket. Offensive foul called here as Ziesek takes the charge.
Really tough pass on the other end of the floor. I don't think it looks quite as difficult as it really is to enter that ball into the post, especially from beyond the three-point arc. But Philip Filipski did it with exceptional success there on the other end.
Dante Wingster guilty of that charge. The second quarter has been much lower scoring than the first was. With 3 minutes still to play, though, before the half. Sam Radin, Scott Janovich, GHSA Network. Semifinal number 1 in the boys 5A draw. Ziesek, quick fake, now sends it inside. Burst to Filipski, and he had it swatted out of there. And that one was blocked by Richard Miller, but it will remain with Alpharetta.
A great ball movement there from Ziesek to Burst, and then over to Filipski. Didn't end up in a shot, but good three-man ball movement there.
In the corner, Ziesek for three, no good. Rebound tipped by Burst and controlled by Mustafi. Now for three, no good that time from Toney, and it's going to be Savannah basketball. I thought a loose ball foul coming, but instead it'll be Blue Jackets basketball. We get a substitution. Now Filipski will have a seat, and back into the lineup is Bjorn Walker.
Sorry, Sam, that's actually going to stay here with Alpharetta. They're going to say it went out of bounds off of Savannah.
So the Raiders will keep it, tied at 22. Mustafi at 6'4", the senior, to inbound. Finds Walker, 6'5", the tallest player for the Raiders.
Ball back Mustafi, is that in your great names category?
He's on that list. Toney's shot no good. Offensive rebound, Mustafi, and the follow won't drop. And now the Blue Jackets do pull it out of there. Pull-up jump shot from the left wing, no good from 16 feet out by Norman. And the rebound of the Raiders.
Yeah, big tough rebound there from Bjorn Walker. 8.1 per game.
Oh, that was a pretty shot attempt by Ty Toney. It doesn't fall. Offensive rebound to the Raiders. Tip, no. And it's lost out of bounds, but remains with the Raiders. Nice hustle by Alpharetta on the boards. They're really at every position on the floor, 2 or 3 inches smaller, but they're battling and battling on the glass.
Yeah, you said it. Having a lot of success here in the second quarter on the offensive glass specifically. Getting 2 and 3 looks almost every time down.
Toney thought about a three. Oh, he double dribbled. And they called it right away.
Tim Jordan called that one. Head coach of Savannah was all over that.
Ty Toney might have called it himself. He was so surprised he put it back on the floor. There's Coach Jordan. Maybe you with that pink shirt. I don't know about me.
Yeah, I would wear that for sure. Not sure I could pull it off, but I'd try.
Pull-up jump shot from Famble, in and out, no. Rebound Raiders. They've done a great job on the glass. Lots of contact as Burst comes out of there with it. Steal by the Blue Jackets. Very patiently, they're able to get the bucket there as Jamal Norman waited for the defenders to sail by before he put his team back up by 2.
It was a good rebound by Burst, but he tried to dribble his way out of what was a triple team instead of passing it. And an ill-advised turnover as a result.
Zisek with another turnover for the Raiders. Blue Jackets will bring it back as we come near to the 1-minute mark here of the first quarter. Turnaround shot, and that probably was ill-advised, but he'll call it a pass from Chris Coakley as it's finished up underneath by Dante Wingster.
It was a perfect pass. It fell right into actually Jamal Norman's hands right underneath the hoop. I think it was a pass.
Tony's shot no good. Mustafi with the rebound. Now Burst pull up from 18, short. Rebound to Mustafi. Mustafi is furious underneath there as a rebounder. He's fantastic on the glass.
So he has 4 offensive rebounds in about the last 2 minutes alone.
Remember when we said it around the 6-minute mark that Alpharetta was going to make a living from the line? This is their first time on a common foul to shoot a 1-and-1 since we made that comment.
Here we'll get
Mustafi, the beast on the glass.
Another look at Mustafi fighting there for that offensive rebound, and not a huge kid at 6'4", 197. That's what he's listed at. I'd say
front end of the 1-and-1 good. Oh, you're going to measure him from here?
I was going to say it's a little giving. Yeah, I have a 2-inch rule. Subtract 2 inches from whatever it says.
I don't even want to know anything about that rule. Free throw good. It's a 3-point game. Mustafi here with 49 seconds left. Second quarter. Cannot connect on that one. So the deficit remains 3 for the Raiders. Blue Jackets nearly turn it over in the backcourt. And Mustafi's on the floor to get it. There's Dean. His shot no good. Oh, big time rebound by the Blue Jackets. They finally clear it away. Nice job on the glass by Norman that time.
Yeah, ripped that down with one hand. Palmed it with his right hand on the rebound. Very impressive.
See what the Blue Jackets do as far as one shot here with 20 seconds left in the first quarter. Right in front of us at the table is Jason Lawton. Zisek intently defending him. Lawton crosses over left, now back right. Pull-up jump shot from 18 is no good, and the rebound comes off to Walker. 8 seconds to play for Alpharetta first half, and a risky attempt that time to come away with the steal for Savannah with 6 seconds left. And that's just not a smart play with already being in the penalty.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's about knowing where you are within the game. Situational basketball, if you will. And you said it, not a smart play there. Putting Alpharetta at the free throw line.
It's Jason Lawton who picked up that foul. 1-and-1 opportunity here for Carlos Burst.
Tell you, this second line, if you will, for Savannah has been impressive, but they're not nearly as adept at getting into the paint on the drive, and that much has been clear here.
Front end of the 1-and-1, no good. Final second here of the first half, and it's off the rim. No good on the long attempt that time from Lawton. So we go to the locker rooms with Savannah on top by 3. It's been a back and forth first half. We'll come back with first half stats and get you set for the third quarter in just a couple minutes along the GHSA network.
We need the Millbrook scoreboard to the scores table, please. Millbrook scoreboard to the scores table. Fans, get your official GHSA State Championship basketball merchandise by visiting the Team ID booth located in the arena lobby. The Georgia Electric Furniture Corporation is proud to present the annual GEMC Cloth and Spirit Sportsmanship Award to regional winners throughout the state. GEMC lighting the way. During natural disasters, the men and women of the Georgia Army National Guard save lives, protect property, and bring home. Earn an extra paycheck, develop career skills, and get money that can help you pay for college. Be part of this unique Force. Visit NationalGuard.com today. GPB Sports will televise Friday's finals live on Georgia Public Broadcasting and on the web at gpb.org/basketball and GHSA.tv. GPB, your home for high school sports. Management athletic training coverage is provided by Sports Medicine South and the Gwinnett Medical Center. The Gwinnett Medical Center, the hospital Gwinnett deserves, offers a wide array of high-quality medical services for high school athletes. Sports Medicine South and Dr. Gary Redwood, Atlanta's orthopedic and sports medicine specialist, is the official medical provider for the GHSA. Georgia Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance is the official awards presenter of the GHSA. With offices in every Georgia county, Farm Bureau stands ready to serve you with multi-line insurance products and a host of other member benefits. At Farm Bureau, helping you is what we do best. The official basketball of the GHSA is provided by Wilson. Wilson, for a win. Verizon is the mobile phone provider of the GHSA. Verizon, America's largest and most reliable high-speed wireless network. Become a fan of the GHSA on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at official GHSA for the latest news, playoff information, and final scores. Gatorade is the official sports drink of the GHSA. Gatorade Series fuels your body before, during, and after. The United States Marine Corps is proud to support the GHSA State Basketball Championships. To take the Chin-Up Challenge, visit the U.S. Marine League located in the Arena Concourse. The view, the proud, the Marines. Sports Authority is the sporting goods retailer of the GHSA. Visit their local store or online to find everything you need. Sports Authority, all things sporting goods. And Regents Bank is proud to support the GHSA and the Regents Bank Directors Cup, which recognizes top school athletic programs across the state.
Can we get a look at the halftime?
basketball fans, only 57 days away from the start of the WNBA season. Check out your back-to-back WNBA Eastern Conference champions, the Atlanta Braves, and HHS Concourse for more information.
All right, before we start the third quarter with Savannah top by 3, let's take a look at the first half stats.
Well, turnovers have helped Alpharetta stay in this game, but also offensive rebounding. You look at that number, 8 offensive rebounds, 5 rebound advantage, but 8 on the offensive glass is a huge number in one half.
And I think the other thing is that you saw the 9 team fouls in Savannah. Alpharetta didn't take enough advantage of that getting to the free throw line in that second quarter when they were in the bonus.
Yeah, and both teams left a lot of
Ty
points.
Tony might have got away with the double dribble. He was called for one earlier. Zizic tries a 3. It's no good. Rebound Blue Jackets. The Blue Jackets have led by as many as 5. Alpharetta's led by as many as 4. Savannah's got Javante Spivey back out there with it. They got that first group, as it were. Oh, Kayvon Freeman just fell on top of David Zizic. I mean, the weight differential there is a good 100 pounds. And Zizic is trying to shake it off.
Yeah, it's the last guy on the court you want falling on you.
Blue Jackets keep it. And don't get me wrong, I think Kayvon Freeman is very skilled with a big body like that. Here's Spivey hanging and no good on the runner. It's tipped out of bounds. Well, I thought Mustafi touched it last, but they'll say Raiders basketball.
Never seen Freeman play football, but what position would you guess he plays? Nice defensive end.
Defensive end, defensive line maybe. Here's Mustafi. It's a 1-point lead for Savannah after 1 quarter. The teams only combined, as you see Ty Tony knock down that jump shot there, to score a grand total of 14 points in the second quarter.
Well, Tony's gotten that shot off the screen, little mid-range jumper, basically at will here tonight. Hasn't been able to connect on that possession. He did. If he can get that shot going, it'll be tough to stop.
Tony gambled for a 3, and that's going to leave an open shooter in the corner. It's Russell Famble, and he airballs it. Famble started out hot and since has cooled off. Zizic open for 3. It's off the rim again. And there's Mustafi again, battling on the boards. Babak Mustafi is exactly the kind of guy you want on your team with the way he hustles and offensive rebounds. But this time he's going to be whistled for a loose ball foul.
Maybe why he got the rebound. Either way, though, when they run, when Alpharetta runs, a lot of times they look for the transition three-pointer, which is somewhat rare.
Williams in favor of Famble in the Savannah lineup. Blue Jackets with it. They're up by 1. On the drive this time, it's Chisholm. His shot's no good. The rebound's tipped. Freeman comes away with it. In traffic, goes up strong and scores.
Good, strong play there. Mustafi giving up a lot of size and girth. Freeman does a good job of using his body.
After the 2-inch rule, that was a pretty good use of girth, I must say. Zizic drives baseline. His pass is a little bit late, trying to get it through to Walker, and it's turned over. The Blue Jackets will bring it back. 2 minutes gone here in the third quarter. Alpharetta scored the only 2 points of the frame. On the baseline, turnaround shot. That's nicely done off the window that time, courtesy of David Basil's first field goal of the game.
Yeah, beautiful spin move and then a nice use of the backboard to get that high percentage bank shot to fall.
Savannah leads by 5 once again, matching their largest lead of the game. And now a whistle and an offensive foul is going to be called against Alpharetta.
Yeah, good on-ball pressure there from Naquan Chisholm.
There's another look at the turnaround jump shot there by Basil. Nice control of the body and a smart decision to use the window.
Haven't seen much from Basil, but with that type of strength and skill.
Basil trying to show you more. 17-footer, no good off the rim. Probably could have put it back up. Instead, he elected to pass it out to Spivey. Either way, another possession for Savannah.
Either team dumped the ball down into the post much, although Savannah's starting to do so more a little bit here. And they have the edge there with both Basil and Freeman, 2 big guys who both seem to have sophisticated games in the post.
Savannah keeps it. There's Philip Filipski back into the lineup. For the Raiders, they're down by 5. 3 minutes gone, third quarter. Kayvon Freeman spins, no good, gets it back, puts it up again, no good, gets it back again. Another follow, no, and now finally the boards are cleared by Bjorn Walker. Oh, Ty Tony with some theatrics bringing it up, and Philip Filipski missed the layup, tip, no, rebound Blue Jackets. Alpharetta did everything but score on that possession, and now Filipski's going to be called for a foul.
Yeah, both teams had a couple of point-blank looks at the hoop. On the other end, Freeman loves that little drop step into a spin move along the baseline. He's actually used it effectively a couple times tonight. Tough break there to not get one of his 3 attempts to fall.
You can see, though, that here's a 3-point attempt from Williams. That's an air ball, and it's going to be Alpharetta basketball. The rebounding advantage that we talked about is starting to dissipate as Savannah gets more active on the boards. They have more size. It's just that Alpharetta was hungrier on the offensive glass in that first.
Well, they have a ton of size when they have Basil and Freeman in the game. They took both just out, although 23, Chris Coakley's awfully big himself. I imagine Coach Jordan, though, talked a lot about rebounding and their lack thereof in the half.
Coakley back in. There's a 3 from Burse. He's got 9, and just like that, it's down to a 2-point game. That shift change has occurred again for Savannah. The Blue Jackets have led much of the way here. From the corner, there's a 3-point attempt from Williams, and that one finds the mark right after he airballed one, and now Jermaine Williams has 8.
They got it right back, and Carlos Burse fell asleep defensively there.
In trouble this time as Tony dribbles his way out of it. Bad spacing right now for the Raiders. Burse tries another 3 and left it way short. Rebound Blue Jackets, whistle, and a travel is going to be called there after some contact with Jermaine Williams, and he gives it back over. And here's another look at the 3 from Jermaine Williams. Sink into the corner. And he's got to close out better. Carlos Burse late getting there.
Yeah, you got to be much more aggressive on your closeouts. Carlos Burse on the other end, though, has fallen in love with his high arcing 3-point shot.
This shot is blocked out of the corner. The Blue Jackets will look to push it here. 4-on-4 the break. Thought about it with Coakley. Instead, they kick it back out. Williams, double clutch shot, no good. Offensive rebound, turnaround, and good. It rattled its way home for Devin Holmes.
We've said it a couple times, Alpharetta dominating the offensive glass in that second quarter, but how the roles have changed. Now Savannah squarely controlling the offensive boards here in the third.
Timeout Raiders with now Savannah in possession of their largest lead of the game at 35 to 28. Scott, walk us through this last hit here.
It's a little out of control, wild shot there. But a good job pounding the boards there. Big offensive rebound. I believe it was Chris Coakley.
Actually, I think it was 35. It was Devin Holmes that time.
Thank you.
And put that one home. It's interesting to see here with that second unit for Savannah being so successful during that timeout. They went back to their starters, almost kind of sensing blood in the water right now, with 3:13 to play in the third and having their lead up to 7.
Yeah, and Alpharetta not getting much done on the offensive end of the floor either.
So a rested first unit out there for the Blue Jackets right now, trying to punch a ticket to tomorrow night's championship game.
Savannah's done a better job taking care of the basketball here in the third, and it's hurt Alpharetta's offensive game as a result.
Inside they go, lots of contact for Filipski, no call. And Savannah comes away with the rebound.
Who do the Raiders go in the half to? Who do they go to in the half-court sets from here on?
They've had a lot of trouble in that. I mean, you got to figure that Burse is probably the best guy at creating his own shot, but as you said, he's taken a lot of the long jumpers. They need Ty Tony to penetrate, and they need to force turnovers and get out and run when they can. On the drive, Spivey leaves at that time for Famble. Hangs in the air. We get a whistle and a foul coming on Ty Tony, and it should be his second.
Sort of a bailout foul there. Thought Famble had gotten himself into what was a tough situation, sort of an out-of-control runner in the lane, and make him make that shot.
Check that. It's 3 fouls, by the way, on Tony. Famble hits that free throw. He's got 8. He scored the first 5 points of the game for Savannah, and now he's come back to add a total of 4 more. Savannah's lead is up to 9. Sorry, Scott, their largest of the game.
I was about to say, it may seem obvious, but 2.5 minutes here to play in the third. This is a big point in the game for Alpharetta, slowly getting away from it.
And another turnover. Freeman leads the break, has it tipped, and the Blue Jackets keep it. Freeman with it now on the left side, pulls it back to the right square, and it's stolen out of there by Tony. Big possession here for the Raiders. Tony has it blocked by Famble. We get a whistle, and a blocking foul coming against the Blue Jackets that time.
I think they said the block itself was clean. They're going to get Naquan Chisholm, the lower body contact on number 11.
So we told you about Tony. He leads the team in assists and steals. He's averaging 31 points per game in the playoffs. 24 points per game over his last 12. That free throw there gives them 11. You're talking about where do they go in the half court. Maybe Ty Tony just needs to put the team on his back where they've been for the last month or so.
I think he has to be the guy.
Tony hits both free throws, 7-point margin with 2 minutes to go here in the third. Oh, a bad pass and a turnover. Zisic gets it ahead and count the basket for Bjorn Walker. Opportunity for a three-point play. Alpharetta scored 4 in a row, and the Raiders are making it feel like Raider Valley in here.
Well, it's got to be Ty and Tony in the half court. But if you can force turnovers, that'll help a lot as well. That's where Alpharetta is doing most of its damage on the offensive end of the floor. And that forced turnover was huge. Gives them a look at a three-point play now.
And you saw Bjorn Walker able to put that one home. And now he's at the line with a chance for a three-point play. Alpharetta has scored the game's last 4, but that's it as the free throw is missed. Savannah's going to push it. Blue Jackets underneath. No good that time on the up and under move from Jermaine Williams, but he's fouled. And that one's going to go against Walker and be his second. It's been kind of interesting to see the tempo that Savannah's played with. I talked with Coach Jordan before the game. We talked about it in the first half. He said that they didn't really want to play a speed game, but they've taken advantage of it. When that floor opens up, they've done that.
Well, I think they're trying to wear this Alpharetta team out, not nearly as deep. Though I sort of agree with you. I don't think it benefits them as much as you'd think because it oftentimes leads to turnovers. And to me, that's really the only way Alpharetta can consistently score the basketball.
1 of 2 from the line there for Williams. The lead is back to 6. Basically what I feel like is if these teams play at arm's length for 32 minutes, I think Savannah's the more talented team. And Carlos Burst is trying to prove me wrong as he knocks down a 17-foot jump shot to put him in double figures with a left.
Well, not a fan of the long 2 in general, unless you make it. That time, Carlos Burst found nothing but net.
It's down to 4, and Chisholm with the drive and score. Check that, not Chisholm, but Jason Lawton instead with his first bucket of the game. 6-point game.
A lot of contact
1
there
minute
for
to
Carlos
play in the
Burst.
third, and a timeout's going to be called by Frederick Hurt.
30-second timeout for the Raiders.
Here's another look at that last field goal for the Raiders. It's Burst. You're not a fan of the long 2, but that time, nice job with the up and under dribble, and he put that up and over a pretty tall defender that time in Devin Holmes.
It's his first shot made off the dribble here tonight. He's taken so many three-pointers that he got his defender up in the air with just a simple head fake. Went right by him, and then it got a little bit better shot. I say I don't like the long 2 because you might as well just take a step back and shoot the 3. It's the lowest percentage shot in the game. But if you make it, you said it, hindsight's 20/20. It's all the same. 2 points.
Filipski back into the lineup for the Raiders. Tyler Lynch running the point right now, the junior at 5'9", 145. Nearly a turnover for Ty Tony. He keeps it though, and out they come to Filipski. 18-foot jumper, another one of those low percentage 2s. It's no good. And the rebound taken off by the Blue Jackets. And they'll look to push it. Lawton, beautiful move, and a follow-up jam that time. Big time dunk there for Chris Copley. Tyler Lenz didn't know where the ball was, and now we get a whistle, and a foul is going to be called on the reach-in for Jermaine Williams.
Well, Lawton got open there so easily. I think just about everyone, including Lawton himself, was surprised. He used this beautiful fake there It looked like the defender tried to take the charge, and there you see Coakley, who's been a beast on the offensive boards, followed up with the big-time dunk.
You're right. It was 22 Filipski and not 10 Lentz. He tried to take the charge, then couldn't find the ball. And now a turnover, and it's turned right back over as Savannah had stolen it, but now Alpharetta is going to keep it. 27 seconds left here in the third. The Blue Jackets led this game by 3 at the half. Now they're up by 8.
Should hold for the last shot here, though they're not going to.
Burst deep two, no good. Had a hand on the rebound. His own teammate took it away from him. It's Bjorn Walker. Final 15 seconds here in the third quarter. The Raiders will hold. They can cut it to 6 or maybe 5. Lentz bouncing it in the corner to Filipski. They'll get a good look here out of the right corner for 3, but it's short that time by Burst. 4 seconds left for the Blue Jackets. Lawton ahead, easy layup. Jermaine Williams at the horn, and Savannah closes the third quarter with a flourish. The Blue Jackets have their largest lead of the game at 44-34 as we go to the fourth on the GHSA network. Raiders basketball to start the fourth quarter. They lead it. They trail it rather by 10 at 44-34. It's been an uphill battle all season long, though, Scott, for the Raiders. They've got 8 more minutes to make it happen here.
And what a swing that was in the final seconds of that quarter. Carlos Burst finds himself wide open for a corner 3. Savannah gets that rebound with 5 seconds left in the quarter and turn it into a wide open layup. A huge 5-point swing there.
Burst has it here. Ty Toney's going to need to be assertive in this fourth quarter. He's not on the floor right now, getting a breather. Here's Burst. Driving baseline, contact, and we get a foul on Famble. Burst is fortunate. He got that arm extended a little bit. It could have gone against him, and on Famble, it's going to be his first.
Yeah, and thus far, we've seen Burst do most of his damage and work off ball. With Toney out of the game, though, I think they've got to get the ball in his hands.
Burst for 3, short. Rebound tipped and controlled by Dean, and a difficult shot underneath the basket. I don't think Isaiah Dean knew where he was, and it caroms off easily to the Blue Jackets.
Yeah, you rushed that shot a little. No reason to not kick that ball back out. Reset. Get yourself a nice look at the hoop.
Spivey out of Famble. Famble looks like a basketball player with those long arms. 1 minute gone, fourth quarter on the drive. Spivey, offensive foul called there. He was out of control, and who else would make a hustle play but our buddy Ballback Mustafi?
I like the idea of taking it hard to the rim, attacking the basket. No doubt, though, a little out of control. Definitely a good call on the offensive foul. 3
fouls on Javante Spivey. He's yet to score. He averages 9 points per game. Toney waiting to check back in along with Zizic in the Raiders lineup. Here's Dean hanging in the air. No good. Ball took an extra bounce off the rim, and it comes off to Famble.
Yeah, I think Savannah and Coach Jordan will be wise to slow this game down here for the remaining 6.5 minutes.
Their 10-point lead right now is their largest of the ball game. They haven't trailed since early in the second quarter.
Limit your turnovers and shorten the game. The fewer the possessions, the better.
Famble's shot no good, gets his own miss. It's now loose on the floor. Picked up underneath there by the Blue Jackets, and now a held ball. And the possession arrow favors Savannah, so we'll stay here. There's Ty Toney and Zizic checking back in. Lentz comes out, and Burst will probably get his final breather of the game.
tough time if you're Carlos Burst to be taking a break. Only 6 minutes left, potentially, in the entire season. I'd want to be on the floor.
Famble gets it inbounds. Spivey hands it off to Chisholm, the point guard. And timeout called by Savannah's Tim Jordan.
Smart timeout there from Jordan. His team's got a nice, comfortable 10-point lead. Not only does he want to make sure he gets a good shot, but you can also talk about how you want to approach the last 6 minutes of this game.
You walked us through in the last game about the rules of the 1-and-1. I am curious to know a little bit about the progression of Alpharetta's season, just what kind of a Cinderella story it is for the Raiders to be here. Talk about some of the trials and tribulations it took them to get here to be in their first Final Four.
Well, we talked about the fact that it's the first team since, what was the year? 1976 that a 12-loss team in 5A has made it this far. What's most important, though, or most interesting, is that this team finished 5th in the region.
And they've still found their way here into the state's Final Four amongst such powerhouses as Milton and Savannah.
Of course, that's Region 6, which they share with Milton. Lost to Milton in that final.
Out of the timeout, let's see what the Blue Jackets can do with it. Spivey will hand off. Here's Freeman. It's been quiet in the second half. Chisholm, and a foul out way away from the goal on Bjorn Walker, and it'll be his third. I think Savannah talked in that timeout about running a dribble weave and take as much time on the clock off as you want to before you get a shot.
Managing the clock, and I don't think you see that enough here at the high school level. Without a shot clock, it makes that notion, the idea of controlling the game and the clock itself, far more feasible. Especially with a 10-point lead here in the fourth. No reason to rush any possession. Shorten this game as much as you can.
And that's what they're doing. Burst back in the lineup for Alpharetta. He rested for about a minute. Kayvon Freeman picks up his dribble. Out to Chisholm. And they'll run the drill again.
And if you're Alpharetta, you've got to pick up your aggression defensively. Got to play much tighter on-ball defense to try to force the issue with Savannah.
Ty Toney just got his 4th foul right there with 5:11 to play. 5 team fouls as well against the Raiders. Tony's got to be careful with 4 fouls. There's no way you can take him out, though, down 10. And now, sensing that the Blue Jackets are just going to run clock, David Zizek gives a foul. And before you know it, I think Savannah's going to be on the line here.
Well, they're a foul away now.
Right,
foul away from the penalty.
Alpharetta's just going to say, look, you're going to stall. We're going to put you at the line.
No, I think Savannah will take that.
Depends on whom, I suppose. Spivey lost that one, but it's last touched out of bounds by the Raiders. And just like that, another minute's off the clock.
You've got to be a really bad free throw shooter to intentionally be placed at the line consistently.
Well, I don't mean the rest of the game. I just mean here, there's a dunk attempt. No good that time on the opportunity from Basil. And the other way, finally, Ty Toney takes things back over. He's got 14, and his team's within 8.
Great spin move there, and then a nice finish with the right hand, even though he went left side of the rim.
And a turnover will give it back to the Raiders as we take another look at Ty Toney.
Right-handed player spins with his right, and then sort of a reverse layup there, finishing with the right. And a pretty play there from number 32, Ty Toney.
Blue Jackets bring the posse back in. That second unit comes out there. Alpharetta with a chance to cut it down to 6 or even 5 on a trifecta. Carlos Burst working against the 2-3 zone. Ty Toney has 14 today. He averages almost 19. He's averaged 31 in the postseason. Burst gets in the air, dishes it, and now they go underneath to the baseline. It remains Alpharetta basketball, but we're coming up on the 4-minute mark now in the fourth quarter.
One of the keys to the game for Tim Jordan was show Alpharetta a defense it hasn't seen this year. And Toney scores 31, but he's seen a much different defense tonight.
Big 3 there for David Zizek. He's got 8. And now nearly a turnover, and it is. Zizek gets his hand on it, and we get a whistle and a loose ball foul coming here against the Blue Jackets. David Zizek has fired up his crowd and his team. Jason Lawton called for that foul, by the way.
I was going to say Savannah was trying to inbound that. But of course, the ball is going to stay here with Alpharetta. And a beautiful play there. Nice little cut for Zizic, found himself in the corner on an out-of-bounds play. Can't lose Alpharetta's top three-point shooter for Savannah on a dead ball play.
Burst for three. That one's too strong. Offensive rebound, though, and the stick back falls for Bjorn Walker. Alpharetta scored 5 points in a row, and they're within 3 at 44-41. This time, the Blue Jackets beat the pressure easily. See how long they hold it. One possession ball game. Nice comeback by Alpharetta. The Raiders have scored the game's last 7, and another timeout coming here from Tim Jordan. And this one's a full timeout, but we'll keep it right here.
Give a lot of credit to David Zizic. First of all, he finds himself wide open in the corner for a three. Then he forces a turnover, which leads to this. Again, Alpharetta finding itself or finding some more success on the offensive glass, and a big putback there from Walker. Had a quiet game offensively, but a couple big rebounds here in the second half. Walker
averages over 8.5 points per game, but he's averaged more than that in his last 4, 13 points per game in those outings, but 8 rebounds a game, and he did just what you said he was going to do there, getting on the glass and coming up with a nice rebound. And Alpharetta's got all the momentum right now. They trailed at 44-34 starting the fourth. They've scored the only 7 points of this quarter.
Yeah, and this place is loud now, but had Carlos Burst hit that three, the Alpharetta fans would have gone even crazier. And they have all the momentum right now despite a 3-point deficit. It doesn't feel to me like Savannah is as comfortable in what it wants to do here in the remaining 3.5 minutes.
Nice crowd on hand as always. The arena at Gwinnett Center and the GHSA do such a good job of these semifinal games. Glad you're with us on the GHSA network. And there is the 7th team foul. It's given by Zizic, and it's going to send the Blue Jackets to the line in the form of Jason Lawton.
You know, we always ask these teams, especially with big leads late in games, to manage the clock, but a lot of times it requires you to get away from what got you that lead. And we've seen Savannah change its style of play here in the last couple minutes, and it's directly led to Alpharetta's run here of late.
It was Chisholm and not Lawton at the line, and he missed the front end of the 1-and-1. So Alpharetta gets it back with a chance to pull within 1, and underneath they'll do just that. No! An opportunity there for Bjorn Walker, and he couldn't get it from point-blank range. And it remains a 3-point ball game. Freeman and that first unit are back out there for the Blue Jackets as we reach the 3-minute mark to play. 2 good ones so far today, partner.
Yeah, it has. This game has had just about all you could ask for.
On the drive. Now pulling it out of there.
2 big comebacks, too.
Jamal Norman still with the dribble. Gotta be careful the 5-second. They go to Freeman. Freeman takes it up over the defense and scores. And then Kayvon Freeman's 8th point makes it a 5-point lead for Savannah. Their first field goal of the fourth quarter comes 6.5 minutes in.
And a dangerous pass there, splitting 3 defenders from Jamal Norman, but it paid off. Got his big man a good look at the hoop.
Tony with a risky pass, speaking of, as he tried to get it free that time to Walker. Now a 3, it's no good from Burse, and Kayvon Freeman pulls it down. Let's see what Alpharetta does here. They've shown that they want to foul, especially when Naquan Chisholm gets it. Chisholm has it here. They don't foul him.
Well, they're just playing aggressive. They know that Savannah is okay with running clock, and so they've got to play tight defense on ball.
On the drive, pull up, and it's good that time. Nice job.
It's Norman again.
Javonte Spivey, was it Norman?
I thought it was 24 Norman. Either way, that tight, aggressive on-ball defense resulted in a quick blow-by the Savannah scorer.
Well, we'll find out here who had the last bucket for Savannah. It put the Blue Jackets up by 7. Excellent body control right there, as that one finds its way home, and it was, I believe, Jamal Norman.
Process of elimination. I saw everyone but 24 on that screen.
Give Norman 6 now. And Bjorn Walker, who had an opportunity to make this a 1-point game just a couple trips ago, is at the line here to shoot 2 with his team down by 7. And the first one is off the mark. Ty Toney's going to sit right now. This is good coaching by Frederick Hurt of the Raiders. He's got 4 fouls, so if they have to give a foul, they'll have Isaiah Dean come on and do it.
Yeah, smart to rest him on the defensive end specifically as opposed to when you have the ball. Of course, he is your floor in general.
Walker splits from the line. It's now a 6-point game. Alpharetta last led this game at 22-18. Since then, Savannah has been in control. Alpharetta pulled within 3. Now they're down 6. And the Blue Jackets try to add to that margin at the line. And it's your buddy, Jamal Norman, at the line here to shoot the 1-and-1. Well done here by the Alpharetta coaching staff as they get Ty Toney back on the floor for offensive purposes.
It's amazing how often this game comes down to rebounding and free throws, 2 of the fundamentals, and it's our second game in as many in which free throw shooting will be paramount here late.
Well, this is a bad turn of events here for the Blue Jackets. Not only the miss on the 1-and-1, but a foul on the rebound goes against the Blue Jackets, and that's going to send the Raiders to the line for a 1-and-1.
Yeah, couldn't have worked out worse. You should get no points, and then you give them an opportunity to score with the clock stopped.
Walker's going to do the honors again for the Raiders. And checking out now is Jamal Norman with his 4 fouls. Good look right there at Bjorn Walker, and his front end is no good. Burst had a hand on the rebound, and last touch by the Raiders. Both teams are struggling at the line.
Now, because Savannah has shown a willingness to run clock, you got to go for the quick steal, and then if you can't get it, you got to think about starting to foul pretty much immediately after, I'd say 5-6 seconds have run off the clock.
Coakley on for Holmes in the Blue Jackets lineup. They're having trouble getting it in. Finally, they got to lob it, and it's stolen away by Isaiah Dean. Ty Toney had a hand on it. Back to Dean, the freshman. Zizik for a deep 3 off the front of the iron, no. Rebound, Blue Jackets on the break, 2-on-1, and a very, very smart decision right there by Savannah's Javante Spivey to pull it back out and run more time, and he gets fouled.
Well-coached team. That is a clear sign of coaching and what these players have been told, and that is at every opportunity, waste time, run clock, rather than score.
Boy, I think 2 near misses for Alpharetta when they think back on this today. Maybe 3. That 3 for Burst you talked about that would have brought the house down. And then the layup underneath there for Bjorn Walker that wouldn't go. And Zizik had a chance for a 3 to make this a little bit closer. And now you give up some points on the other end as Spivey hits the front end of the 1-and-1 for his first point of the game.
Well, Burst missed the wide open 3 at the end of the third quarter, which led to a wide open layup at the other end, and he's missed 2 huge ones here in the last 2 minutes. So really 3 threes from Burst. Any one of them could have changed the complexion of this game.
Second one's no good, so the Raiders have a chance to make up some points on this possession. Filipski, and we get a timeout called by the Alpharetta bench. We'll keep it here with 1:14 remaining here in the ball game, and Savannah with an opportunity with a victory here if they can hold this out to play for the state championship tomorrow, as they'll take on the winner of Harrison and Milton if they can hold on today.
Alpharetta is sort of fallen in love with the 3-point shot here of late. Now, of course, they need points and they need them fast. I will say they've gotten the last couple in rhythm, haven't been forced threes by any measure. But of course,
Savannah's got real good production today out of Jermaine Williams, the freshman, coming off that bench. I think Kayvon Freeman has done a nice job on the glass. And they've been very, very well disciplined, as you mentioned.
I was going to say, of course, Savannah's also in the penalty. So no need to force the 3 here if you're Alpharetta. You can go to the hole, get yourself to the line. Again, an opportunity to score with no time running off the clock.
Points as fast as you can get them, any kind of points.
Well, sometimes teams tend to panic, especially down like this late, and start forcing up 3s, lower percentage shots.
Blue Jackets have that first unit out there on the floor. Filipski's out there with the starters for the Raiders. Here's Ty Toney. He's played well with 14, but not where he's been playing. Lots of time going off the clock here. Burst, kicks it out. Zisek. Here's Toney. He'll try the three. Short. Rebound to Freeman, and he's going to get fouled. Kayvon Freeman was a bear about that rebound.
Yeah, big time rebound in the last minute of the game, and it'll be the longest minute in sports.
Filipski called for that foul. 4 on Filipski. 55 seconds remain in this game.
Can watch 31 minutes of basketball in roughly 45, 50 minutes, and then that last minute, last 55 seconds can take 15 minutes to play.
Famble back into the lineup for Savannah, along with Coakley. Freeman missed the first. His second one is short. And the rebound comes off to Holmes, but he can't stick the follow.
Well, he should have pulled it out.
There. Three-point attempt. That time is no good for Zisek. And time's starting to run out on the Raiders. You're right, he should have pulled it back out, but it was a wide open opportunity.
Either way, no damage done. Alpharetta, of course, missed that shot. And Savannah will find itself right back at the line should they be able to get this ball in bounds.
41 ticks left on the clock. Savannah's going to have to salt this one away from the line. Oh, an over and back call right here as Russell Famble dribbled on the midcourt strike.
Well, there was a lot of contact there from number 21, Carlos Burst. I think he was trying to intentionally foul. I'm not so sure, but either way, Famble, I think, was expecting the foul. Famble, excuse me, and didn't get it.
Alpharetta's got another chance here, down 7. Here's a three from Toney. He's fouled, and that's going to be a 3-shot foul. Ty Toney's going to go to the line to shoot 3 after the foul by Naquan Chisholm.
Well, if you're Savannah, that's the only thing you don't want to do, especially on a shot like that.
Well, especially as poorly as Alpharetta's been shooting from 3, they've had so many opportunities and missed them.
Well, and if he's going to make that shot, then it's a good shot. You can have it, but certainly don't send him to the free throw line for 3. Of course, he misses the front end of that one.
The Raiders not doing themselves any favors from the foul line. Toney splits the first 2. Isaiah Dean's at the scorer's table. He'll check in for Toney if he makes it.
It's amazing. It's the commentator kiss of death. We talked a couple times about his 85% free throw shooting in the last 5 games. Well, he hasn't been even close to that number here tonight.
Yeah, he's missed a couple of them. 30 seconds left. Savannah's lead is at 5. Famble's had a couple of miscues. He's got it now, and he's fouled. Famble's going to be at the free throw line, a senior, one of 4 seniors in the starting lineup for Tim Jordan. They start 4 seniors and a junior. And they've got a really, really deep team. I mean, 10 deep with all guys that play significant minutes.
And only 2 seniors on that bench. We've only seen Wingster. So no doubt they're bringing back a really good team, maybe not quite as deep, but a really good team next year.
Famble's free throw gives him 10. Jermaine Williams leads the Blue Jackets in scoring. He's got 11. That's exactly what Coach Jordan said to expect. A balanced scoring attack, and Famble hits both free throws. 7-point ball game. Timeout, Blue Jackets. We keep it here with 26 seconds remaining on the clock.
Rare that you can say a team's going to be excellent next year when they graduate 7 seniors, but that's what this Savannah team is looking at. And you said it, all-around effort. Really done a good job of sharing the basketball, but it's all about the defense.
Well, it's kind of a system team, right? I mean, they don't have an individual guy that makes them go as much as they play a cohesive brand of basketball. That's a testament to head coach Tim Jordan.
Yeah, and you only give up 43 points per game, 44 here tonight. You're going to find yourself on the winning end of a lot of games playing that kind of defense.
I still think Alpharetta can get a 2 with the way that both teams have shot from the free throw line. They need to be quick about it. Here's Toney. And Tony's going to go all the way to the goal and lay it in. And a timeout by the Raiders, down to a 5-point game. Tony's going to get up there now. He's got 18.
And it's a smart play. You said it. You don't need the 3 as long as you can get it quick, too. And he's awfully explosive with the ball in his hands. Got up the court in a hurry. And a nice job finishing again with the right hand.
Take another look at Ty Tony. Really making this look easy here, but you're right. A nice finish there with the right hand on the left side, but using his body to shield the defender.
Man, it looked like Savannah was flirting there with trying to block that shot, and wise to let Tony go on to the hoop. You certainly don't want to give him a look at a 3-point play.
Got a couple seconds here. Why don't you just give us a thought on what the winner of this game has to look forward to between Harrison and Milton. Milton, of course, trying to avenge last year's loss in the state championship game.
Well, Alpharetta's familiar with Milton. Savannah's not. I mean, you talk about Milton. This is a team that lost 3 of the best players in the state last year. Dejan Parker, Shannon Scott, Julian Royal, and they're back again. They're awfully good. They're going to be without their point guard here tonight.
Savannah turned it over on the inbound. Nonchalant. Kayvon Freeman wasn't able to get it in. And Alpharetta gets it back with 19 seconds left, down by 5. Maybe too early for our game preview.
Yeah. Either way, both teams would rather see Harrison.
I don't think anyone wants to see Milton anyway. Oh, no call there. It was a kick ball on Kayvon Freeman. It wasn't called. And holy cow, Savannah capitalizes on no whistle. Both teams stop playing. And Alpharetta doesn't get a shot off with the ball, down 5 with less than 20 seconds to play. And just like that, Russell Fambles at the line with a chance to bolster his team's lead.
That's why you're taught at a young age to play until the whistle.
Both teams had a clear shot at that ball. It hung there in the air for what felt like minutes.
Both teams stopped, but one figured it out a little bit faster than the other. And Savannah ends up with the ball as a result.
Now, it hasn't cost them yet, as Famble misses the first free throw. It cost him a couple seconds.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Even if he misses this, it costs you the time it took to get the ball up to this side, and, of course, the seconds that are ticking away right now.
Time running out, down 5, 10 seconds left to go. A mishandle there between Tony, and it's deflected out of bounds as Burst couldn't get a hand on it. Now there's 5 seconds left, and Alpharetta needs a miracle. I mean, it's not the deficit so much as it's the time. They only have 5 seconds left. Zisic's going to trigger it here. Got to get a 3 up in a hurry. Burst for 3, no good. Rebound hits the deck. Zisic with a follow, and that's the horn. Savannah escapes a game comeback by Alpharetta. The Blue Jackets win it 51-45. Congratulations to Savannah as they'll play for the state championship tomorrow. You're still kind of at a loss of what happened there for Alpharetta. They had so many chances at the end of the game.
Blue-collar defense, teamwork on offense ended up prevailing here in the end.
Congratulations to Alpharetta on a fine season, the best season in their program's history. They got a lot to be looking forward to. Savannah will look forward to the final tonight. We're looking forward to the second half of the women's semifinals. The Hillgrove Hawks and the North Gwinnett Bulldogs coming up next. Against our final 51-45. It was Savannah over Alpharetta here on the GHSA Network.